Good afternoon. It is August 11th, and I've had a good day so far. Um, Woke up at a decent hour. Got to spend a few minutes with Jerry Ann before having to get dressed for our orientation meeting, and I have to say it went really well. I mean, I've had orientation meetings that were just like a flash in the pans, but this one was like had the chief of police for the campus talk to talk about his job and parking situations and whatnot, because a lot of parking lots have either been destroyed or moved or one thing or another. Um, just basic campus security and what his job details, and if you need anything because you feel like if you're there after a certain time, if you feel unsafe walking to your vehicle, you can give them a call. They're there 24/7 to basically escort you to your vehicle, which is like that's great because we do have um, a lot of different women who are either up there in age or just seem very vulnerable, which I don't like the idea of any woman, does not matter their age, walking by themselves in the dark, even if it's just to their vehicle. It's just one of those things that's like, no, no, no. Let's be a Boy Scout, or let's be courteous and whatnot, and make sure they get to their vehicle safely. Um, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that I have to walk across our new roundabout and whatnot to get to where I park. The captain, we're going to call the head of the campus police station. Um, Basically, he said until they get done with all this construction, which might not be for another year and a half or more. Um, if you want to park on the street, freely park on the street where you can. Nobody's gonna get like uppity about it and that kind of stuff. And I've been parking on the street for since I started, because it too much money to pay for a parking permit on campus, and right now your best bet is to park on the street. Otherwise, you might be walking blocks. It might take you half an hour just to walk to the Havner Center from the hospital parking, which is up the street, or the open parking areas they have right now is like a good block and a half away from campus, or at least the area that we have to be in. So it's kind of like, yay, I'll just keep my money and walk across the street. As long as the street where I park is not going to become part of the roundabout, which it does not look like right now, I'm fine. I really am fine. But, don't know. And like the captain said, it's out of his control. There's nothing he can do about it. It's up to the big wigs that make the plans and whatnot, and just to hand down orders from up high. But it was a good all-in-all meeting because it talked about a lot of different things that are coming up that's available to the employees, events that usually happen, for the employees. Excuse me. But before the whole thing started, let's just say that the very gentleman who is the head of the police department came to talk to me, because he got an email that I was bringing a knife on campus. And I showed him the knife and whatnot. I said, it's a work knife. It's a chef's knife. It says it right here on the box. If you want to open it up and look at it, it's fine and dandy. I don't care. I have no ill intention of any kind with my workplace. And I even explained to him, I've been doing YouTube for at least 4 years, 3 to 4 years. My wife has been doing it for 6, and we've got haters, and they try to disrupt our lives every moment they get. Well, of course, the officer was, the captain was just like, it's fine and dandy. I have to do these checks just to make sure everything's, smooth and nothing's going wrong. I'm like, no, sir. I brought it in here to talk to my boss or one of my bosses to see if I can use it at work as a chef's knife, because that's what it is. Because I like to have what I need at my side instead of having to hunt for it. Which that was one of the things in the meeting, was they're trying to make sure that all work knives go back to the proper places instead of just being hidden under their workstation. They have to be at a certain spot for safety purposes. But after the meeting, I took my chef's knife and I took it and talked to Chef. That's what we call, I'm not going to give out his real name, but we just call him Chef. And I was like, I brought this in today because I wanted to show it to you to make sure you're okay with me bringing it or having it at work for my own personal usage. And he pulled it out of the box, looked at it, said it was a nice piece, and said, as long as you're wearing your safety glove, you can use whatever knife you want to bring in. And I was like, okay, thank you. So basically, what I need to do is I need to get a padlock so I can lock my knife, my blade, into a locker. Storage locker. And I can store anything I want there. So I can store like clean uniforms and make sure, no, I don't think I'll use it for uniforms. I'll probably use it for my winter coats or my heavier coats when the winter time comes, so nobody else is messing with it and that kind of stuff. So I know what I'm allowed. I know what I need to do, and I know whom to go talk to if there's an issue. But if the haters and naysayers and troublestarers want to keep on sending emails, well, there's definitely 2 things that's going to happen with that. One, they will come and talk to me, and I will tell them, go watch. If they told you what video, go watch it. Make your determination on your own. Don't let somebody sending you emails, saying that I said this or that, and blah 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 blah. Go check it out yourself. I got no problems with my superiors watching my YouTube going, oh, he didn't say anything that bad. It wasn't that harsh. He was just talking about the day. We all have issues with the day. It's not like I'm sitting there going, so-and-so is such a, lazy person or whatever. No. I talk about my day, yeah. But I'm not the person I once was. I'm not the negative person that looks for problems. I'm the person who looks for solutions or looks for, positivity or the light in the situation. There's too much negativity out in the world nowadays that why do I need to bring it up? Why do I need to start negative stuff? Oh yeah, I might make comments about, this group or that group tried to, stir up trouble, but it didn't. It flew the way of the dodo bird, Another thing I wanted to say before I stop with the issues that are somewhat evolved around me or rotating around me. Now, a lot of you had come to me on my channel about Caitlin, the reporter who did the interview with me and Jerry, or Jerry especially. She did not get fired. She actually left that job for a job that she really wanted, and she won't have to deal with a lot of the negativity caused by this issue or one other or issues that the news office gets bombarded with. She's actually working at S&T. How do I know this? Two reasons why. One, my wife called, talked to her directly, got the 411 from the horse's mouth. And she even said, no, I didn't get fired. I actually left the job for a better job. And then there was also this thing about our article is no longer at their website. Yes, it is. I went directly to their formal website, and if you scroll down to where they say articles, Welcome to Internet, which is the title of the article that was written about Jerry Ann, is still there as the #1 article. So before anybody goes yapping about this or that, do yourselves a favor. And I'm directing this towards the haters, especially Josie or Joey Z, who has a reactionary channel. And I watched her channel, and I'll tell you what, right now, Josie, you have diddly squat on us. The so-called evidence you have or had about my wife and her best friend walking through downtown Rolla, you haven't produced that yet. You haven't. Right there is just like, okay, she's trying to blow smoke up people's ass. You want to try to do reactionary videos on us the same way Diane has or the GB has? Go for it. You're making yourselves look like bigger fools than I do on my own right here. Yes, I said it. I make a big fool of myself sometimes on here. I don't care. Your problem is you think you're trying to, cause issues with me and my wife for what? For shits and giggles. It's fine and dandy. I really don't care. You know why? I know who I am. Jay knows who she is. You can say everything you want to about us. Guess what? It ain't gonna bug us. All her life, she's been made fun of because of her size. All my life, I've been made fun of because of my dyslexia, my attention deficit disorder, because I don't fit into some clique during high school. I don't care. Military even labeled me as slow and dumb, but before I dropped out of high school in the middle of my 12th grade, the year before, the counselor that was in charge of my file and whatnot, she worked directly with me because she was also head of the learning disabled portion of high school. She was basically saying when I got him, he couldn't get above 8th grade, 7th grade reading. But by the time he reached the first semester or first quarter of 12th grade, she even said it. I was reading college material at 12th grade. I was reading 2 years above my current status in 12th grade. I was reading high school material that you don't see college materials you don't see very often in college, because a lot of colleges don't deal with metaphysics, don't deal with psychic phenomena or ghosts or any of that stuff. Yeah, I'm reading books about near-death experiences and out-of-body experiences and ghosts of America. And now I'm reading information on the Norsemen or Vikings, both from a private sector as well as some books from a archaeology area. Just about every single one of these books, except for even the Maricel Moraine books. So basically, all my books, except for the 3 books that are basically novels based on Assassin's Creed, are above high school level books. I have proven to myself many a times that I'm better than what most people want to say I am. I know in the past, and this is even like within the last year and a half, I have not been the person I am now. If it wasn't for the studies into the Norsemen, if it wasn't for me starting to do stuff that makes me happy, like cooking, crystals, things of that nature, I'd be a dark, miserable, negative soul that nobody want to be around. Right, that little which the GB wants to use and splatter everywhere. That little tiff that I had last February of last year. It's because the fact that I wasn't. Was it this year? I don't know, but it's in the past. Just like yesterday is the past, all that stuff is in the past. I've changed. I've changed in ways that most people don't think I could do or should do. I really don't care what people think about me. I really don't. I mean, people can say all the nasty stuff they want to about me, and I'm just going to look at them and go, really? You think I'm that way? You think I'm that person that you're making up in your head? Well, you know what? How about this? One day a year, let's say middle of summertime. That way I don't cause problems with my job, and I'll let Jerry Ann know about it. One day a year. Or maybe one day a month. And I'll try to make sure I put some sort of disclaimer in the beginning. I'll blow up everything that's been bugging me. Every little freaking thing that's ever bugged me. I'll let it all out at once. Let you guys see how bad, how dark I can get. Because let's just put it this way. The last time I got really dark and really bad, nobody, not even my current friends at the time, wanted to deal with that shit. Okay? And I've known some batshit crazy people in my past, especially back in the LDI. Yeah. Let's just say when Jim gets pissed, it's time to hide the cutlery or anything that could be used to stab, poke, or basically harm another person, and just get out of his way and let him blow it out. Am I proud about those days? Am I proud that I have that dark side that just gets really, really dangerously dark? No. Because I will tell you this much. Every time that I realize I have harmed somebody physically, verbally, mentally, I don't know how to hurt people spiritually, but anytime I know I've hurt somebody or I've said something or done something that hurts, I am very regretful and very remorseful because I don't like being that way. That is not dark, evil, old 1990s Jim. No. I look back at some of those days and go, man, I really, really, really wish I would have just, kept my freaking mouth shut. Or go as far away from people as possible so I can yell at the top of my lungs on a mountain someplace. And the only people that, only thing that would get disturbed is the wildlife around me. I just, no. Let's just put it this way. You know how a dog can sense other people's emotions? And depending on the emotions of the person and the training or the mentality of the dog, you can tell when a dog is happy because he will wag that tail. He will wag that tail and bark happily. You can tell when the dog's not happy because he will tuck his tail, his ears will go back, and depending on The emotions will depend on his reaction to anything around it. A lot of dogs will just tuck tail, try to find a corner to hide and be away from everything just so it can calm down. And then there's the dogs that get really aggressive. Their barking is aggressive. Their attitude is aggressive. The growling, the baring of the teeth, the whole 9 yards, very aggressive. You know, and there's reasons why they do that. I'm not saying that I can get like a dog, but the thing is, I've been around aggressive dogs in my dark times, and I will literally stand there and stare that animal down. I've had a couple of dogs that when I got to the point where I started staring them down, they literally tucked tailed, whimpered, and tried to hide. I don't like that. I don't like that person. That's something I want to leave in my past. You know, everybody sits there and goes, "Oh yeah," blah, 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 blah. You know, that's fine, Danny. We all have our dark sides, but from my point, my dark side, I've only gotten dark once, twice with people, with human beings. First time was because my cousin Debbie got into my face during a very dark moment when I was trying to have, even though it was aggressive, a conversation with my mother. Debbie tried to push her way around, thinking just because she was older than me that she would have the upper hand. Problem is, when I get that dark, I become soulless. My mother was trying to keep me from hitting her. And I only slapped her really good, but it was enough for her to, enough for my mother basically to grab a hold of my shoulder from behind. And at the time, she had long fingernails, nice, long, sharp fingernails. She dug so deeply into my skin that it left a bruise and bloody marks on my shoulder. Luckily, it didn't leave a permanent scar, but still, when it was happening, I didn't feel squat. Now, the other time that I got really dark, and this was with Jerry Ann, and she wasn't trying to be aggressive physically, but she was being aggressive verbally. And when she stopped, it was because I scared her. I frightened her just by staring at her. And she had told me a day or two later that she doesn't want that to ever happen again, because when she was looking into my eyes, she couldn't see anything. All she could see was bleak darkness. And she did not like that. And when she told me that, I had promised myself it would never happen again. Because I don't want to hurt Jerry in any way, shape, or form. And anytime I realize I've hurt her, she let me know that what I said was a little hurtful. I get remorseful. I get downright apologetic. And ever since then, back in 2001, I have been doing my darndest to ensure in any way, shape, or form that does not happen. That's why I got into deeply reading the Bible. I got into earth elements and very well. I didn't get into earth elements as deeply as I am now, but still, I look for ways to maintain positivity. I look for ways to maintain stability. Now, a lot of these crystals and whatnot that I have are exactly for those purposes. And I really don't care what anybody thinks about it. I know who I am. I know who Jerry is. I know what we're both capable of. And I know both of us, born and raised in a Christian environment, are rooted firmly in Christianity. But we also realize and believe that these crystals, they're all natural. They came from the ground. God put them there for a reason. And it's been studied since ancient China the healing power of crystals and chakra and things of that nature. It's not a religion, it's an actual healthcare service. That even in China today, they still practice a lot of this kind of healthcare. You might not find it in a hospital or anything like that, but you can go to your local healer and they'll perform chakra cleansing, and they'll, tell you what to do at home, tell you what kind of teas to drink, herbal cure-alls, things of that nature, which I've been into herbal cure-alls since 90. No. Dad died in 85. So I'd say 86, 87. All these people who want to be spiteful and hateful, that's your choice. But I'm going to tell you right now, as a strong believer in Christianity, that spitefulness, that hatred that you have for whatever reason you want to hate on me and Jerry, that's going to weigh poorly when you get up to the judgment table. That's going to be used against you, because that is a negativity, that is something that Christ did not teach. And I strongly believe that your negativity towards me is going to be against you when you get up there to be judged. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, oh yeah, well, that's going to happen to you too. That's fine and dandy. I'm willing to take my judgment, because I know deep down in my heart of hearts, I have not done anything to harm anybody in any way, shape, or form in most of my life. Yes, I know I'm not perfect. There's no human being, there's nobody living or dead except for one person that was truly perfect in every sense of the word perfect, and that was Christ. Anybody wants to say otherwise, well, you can take that up with God. I never claimed to be perfect. I know I'm a flawed human being, because every single human being on the face of this planet, past, present, and probably future, are flawed in one way, shape, or form. It's how we deal with our flaws. Okay? I know a lot of people live by impulse. A lot of people can't always control those impulses. I have impulses of my own. Thankfully, because I'm starting to realize I cannot continue with impulses, because it costs me money. Which means it costs me, the ability to save up money for the future. The thing is, I knew my flaws by the time I hit high school. And I realized that the only way I'm going to be able to pass my reading class, was if I could read materials that I wanted to read. And I was thankful that my reading teacher, for the 3 years that I was in her class, basically said, we can read, and this is to the whole class, anybody can read any kind of book to create a book report or whatnot, as long as it's a book, not a book with pictures. So my ElfQuest novels were out, because they were considered graphic novels. But thankfully, she had a book that sounded interesting, and I decided to read it and go, oh yeah, okay, I get this, I can read this, I can handle this, I can remember this. White Fang. Now, I don't have that memory of that book anymore, except for the fact that I read it. It was one of the first books I read, and thankfully, the reading teacher was allowing us to give oral book reports. Now, I didn't have to wait for her, because she was like, oh yeah, I know this book, tell me about it. And I told her what I remembered. That was part of my grade. She goes, okay, pick another book. And I was like, well, what if I can't find one here? And she was like, any book. Any book as long as it doesn't have pictures in it. Okay, sure, no problem. I didn't know where I was going to get a book like that. She didn't have anything else in her wall-to-wall collection of books. So what did I do? I went to B. Dalton Books in Phoenix, Arizona, and found Mary Summer Rain, Phantoms Afoot. I read that within 5 weeks. I absorbed it like it was part of my being. Took it to her. She looked at it and went, I'm going to take this home and read it. I was like, okay. It took her 2 weeks because, if you're an avid reader, you can read fast. If you don't have any problems with dyslexia, which causes, words to change to a different word instead of what it is, or I end up reading it backwards somehow because that's the way my brain was working. Still does that. But when she came back to me, she was like, tell me what your opinion of this book was. And I told her exactly. I said, when I first picked it up, I thought it was ghost stories. I didn't know it was, real things or real places or people or events. I thought it was just some, She goes, where'd you pick this up? And I said, B. Dalton Books in their New Age section. I read 4 different Mary Summer Rain books in the course of the 3 years I was with her. And by the time she was signing my yearbook, my 3rd yearbook, because I didn't grab I wasn't there to take the. I paid for it, but never got the 12th grade yearbook, which is fine. Yeah, donation to the school. I wish I could find that yearbook so I can read you what was in it, what she wrote. And I do not remember where I put it, but it's not in this room. It's probably in a keepsake box that Jerry put her yearbooks in. But she never read those books before. And she was like, these are not high school books. These are college level books. And I'm like, this is stuff that I'm interested in. You put a book in front of me, and if I'm interested in it, I will read it and understand it and recognize it and be able to tell you about it. But if it's a book that I'm not interested in, it won't stick. It will just be like, it's going to take forever to read this, But that's me. And I accept who I am, and I understand who I am. And if people can't understand that and want to make fun about it or want to be haters about it or be cyberbullies about it, that's fine and dandy. That's on their consciousness, not mine. That's on the scales that will be used to weigh their character and see if they're worthy of what God wants us to have. Now, I don't think I'm worthy of what God has in store for me. I really don't. I don't think I'm worthy of anything. All the gifts that Jesus says are waiting for us in heaven, I don't think I'm worthy of it. I really don't think I'm worthy of anything. There are times where I feel like I'm not even worried. Not worried. There are times I feel that I'm not worthy of the very air that God gives us to breathe. But that's my opinion of myself. And yeah, some people might be like, oh, don't put yourself so low. Don't put yourself down like that. No, I'm not putting myself down. I really am not. I just don't think I'm worthy. Now, that's not my choice, though. I can sit here all day and go, oh, I'm not worthy of this or worthy of this. It's not my choice for what I'm worthy of. It's my actions and my deeds and the way I live that's going to make me worthy or not in his eyes. But in my eyes, I'm not worthy of those. I'm not worthy because I think I could be doing more. But that's not only just my characteristics, but a lot of people with adult ADHD that know how to deal with their adult ADHD and knows what it's all about. whether it's attention deficit disorder, like everything, if my mind's not all on track, I can get easily distracted by the gnat that flies around, the way the room looks, any of that stuff. Everybody's health conditions or everybody's health diagnostics or whatever you want to call it is different. There are, literally, scientists have said there are no two human beings identically alike unless you're an identical twin. But that has to be proven by a medical examiner to say they're identical twins. I don't worry about what tomorrow brings. I worry about today, because there's enough things about today to worry about. Like, I am sitting here doing this discussion with you. It is almost, okay, it's after 4 o'clock. I want certain things done before I start working on Monday. Now, granted, I don't have to be there until 12 noon, and I can wake up whenever I want to. I can wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, but I don't want to. I need to make sure that I can wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning in case something happens where they say, hey, can you come in as soon as possible? Like, yeah, I'm already awake. I'll be there in 30 minutes. So I want to be awake at 5, or at least up at 5, and hopefully awake by 5:30. So if for some reason they call me up and go, hey, you want to come in early and work until, work for 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever, I can say, well, I got a doctor's appointment. I'll be there by 12. Or I can say, yeah, sure, I'm already up. How soon do you need me in? That's who I am. The problem with me, and I've been told this is a caretaker's thing, but I wasn't a caretaker when I realized this. I worry about people around me before I worry about myself. My wife, I don't know how many times, have had to call the doctor's office and go, hey, I need to set up an appointment for my husband. Can he come in anytime after 3 o'clock in the afternoon because of his job? It's because of the fact that I forget about myself. I worry about her too much. People have put me down for it, and I'm like, why? Why? Yes, okay, I understand now that as a caretaker, there is this burnout of being a caretaker. And that's because you're so focused on helping somebody else that you forget about yourself. Well, I understand that now. So now it's kind of like, okay. All right, so now that I understand this, okay, I can understand why people sit there and tell me I need to take care of myself as well. But how do you change that pattern when you've been, like, that's your mindset? It's not training, it's your mindset. Don't know. But after getting all those thoughts out of my head, I got to talk to my supervisor and whatnot. I'm clear with my chef knife. Just have to remember to wear the safety glove when I go to use it. And I'll be honest with you right now, because it's not dull, it's very sharp. I'm going to be wearing that safety cut glove because even though I'm very cautious, I don't want an accidental slip and I just cut the tip of my finger off. No, thank you. But everything looks like it's going to go pretty smoothly. They told me when I picked up my uniform, because they asked me where I'd be working. I'm like, well, I worked last year as a tar. I don't know what I'm doing this year. And one of the girls who was handing out uniform components and whatnot was like, oh yeah, James, you might be getting bounced between this place and that place. And I went, okay, sure. I don't care as long as I'm working. hey, I might be learning something new because I don't know. You know. But all in all, it looks like it's going to be good. Like last year, the only difficulty that I can see right now is parking. First come, first serve in certain areas because they're doing so much construction that they had to remove two different parking lots that were close to where I work. Havner Center. They look like if they've done some work on the Havner Center itself, it looks looking a whole lot better from what I could tell. So I don't know, and I don't even know where where the one place on. The one place is still my outside venue, which I'm like, but I'm also going to be working inside, so it's kind of like, almost sounds like it's like wherever we need you is where we're going to throw you, but primarily it's going to be back as the tar or at one of the inside locations. And I'm like, cool, that works for me. I don't mind doing that. It really depends. So the only thing I got to do come Monday is I got to remember my access pin for punching in and out of work, and that kind of thing. So tomorrow I might end up calling over there going, hey, not to bug y'all, but I don't remember my access number. I gotta check all the paperwork in my wallet because it might be written down on a piece of paper, and once I see it, I'll be like, oh yeah, that was it, that's it. Otherwise I might be going, fudge, who do I talk to about this? So that's that, and hopefully they don't sit there and go, oh yeah, y'all need to go down there and get new ID cards so we can, so you can access the buildings and whatnot. And I'll be like, oh great, where was that office now? So, but other than that, I think things are going to go smoothly. I'm really excited about it. But anyhow, I'll let you guys go so I can get other things done and all that fun stuff. So, tonight is the supermoon. It is a super full moon. I do not remember what the name of it is. I'd have to go look at my books, or my calendar. But it is a supermoon, and if you're into crystals, tonight would be the night to cleanse or charge your crystals. Basically, put it somewhere on a windowsill or in front of a window. Like I put mine in front of my Arcadia door because that's the biggest window in my house, and it gets the moonlight. So basically, before you go to bed, if you're charging crystals, or after dark, once the sun goes down, put your wooden bowl, wooden plates, something of that nature, with your crystals on it, in a spot or window sill that gets moonlight for the most part of the night. If you're in an area like I am, where we have raccoons and whatnot, don't put your crystals outside because they might not be on that platform or whatever you're going to put it on, and who knows what else could go wrong. They might go, ooh, pretty object, I'm going to take it back to my nest, and certain birds will do that. So you don't want to always put it outside, even though they say it's the best to put it outside. But I was told if I put them on a wooden tray or something of that, something made out of natural materials like wood, certain kinds of ceramics, you can basically put it in your windowsill to capture the moonlight and charge your crystals. If you don't believe in crystals, that's fine and dandy. That's your choice. I've said it before, if it's natural, like natural elements, the crystals and whatnot you get out of ground, herbs and spices that you grow in your garden or buy at the grocery store or a apothecary shop or some places like that that sell various herbs and spices. Um, that's good. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with using natural elements for health benefits because they're created by God, not man. I mean, yes, there are certain stones and whatnot, types of crystals that can be artificially recreated. A lot of places will do that for like diamonds. Diamonds are a very rare, not really rare commodity, but they're, because of their hardness and whatnot, they can be shaped into various different cuts and whatnot. And a lot of places are creating cubic zirconia, which is it's like basically it's like gold compared to iron pyrite. One's actually worth something, the other one is just easily dealt with. A lot of places are making those because they can make a profit out of it, especially when resources are running low, like the diamond mines and emerald mines and whatnot. Yeah, that's that's what's happening. Uh, 46 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna stop. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about this video, go ahead and put it on in the comment section. I personally, if you're going to be putting comments in the comment section, I would prefer if certain people didn't bring out their Bibles and try to use it as a weapon. I think the one person that was trying to use their Bible knowledge as a weapon, I removed that person. But I'm just going to name him right off the bat. I don't know if it's a male or female, but their handle on here is Mailman. And Mailman has put some beautiful Bible verses out there on my channel. And he did not try to use that knowledge or anything like that, like I'm evil or I'm inappropriate or non-Christian or whatever. Because I didn't do it the last 2 Sundays, I think, but usually on Sundays I try to do a Bible verse or a Bible reading, because like I said, I believe in using natural elements like crystals and herbs and spices for healing purposes. I've got a book by Marissa Rain called Earthway, and it has all kinds of like different information for healing the body, spirit, and what was it? Body, spirit, and mind. And in the back of that book is all kinds of herbal information about different herbs and what they can, what kind of beneficial product it is, or what kind of benefits it will help out with, or like diseases and ailments and sickness. It will help ease those issues. And she even tells you if it's supposed to be a salve or a tea, and what parts of the plant to use. I'm not going to talk about the parts that are in the very back of that book because it's information on different plants and whatnot that are toxic, and what their toxicity level is, and what could happen if you accidentally ingest too much of it. Like, I'm just going to put it out there because I know this one particular thing. You need to literally to make cyanide. Yeah, that was a big thing during the Cold War. Spies would have, fake teeth with a bit of cyanide in there, and you just crunch, bite down on it and swallow the powder that's inside the capsule or tooth. It takes roughly 10 pounds of ground apple seed to create cyanide. That's why a lot of people, when they talk to you about eating apples, one of the things that a lot of parents will teach children is do not swallow the apple seed. The apple seed might not cause a lot of, it might not cause you to expire, but it could cause stomach irritations and, basically a mild poisoning that would just cause like the equivalency of food poisoning, but not enough to kill you. Then there's other things that we might not have around the house all year round, but the berries from actual real mistletoe, like if you were to go out and pick your own mistletoe or get naturally grown mistletoe because it's also a flower, the berries are poisonous. Yeah. You would think something like holly would be fine and dandy, or mistletoe would be fine and dandy. No, they're poisonous. Just like, and I don't know anybody who would have this around or want it. The reason why they call it nightshade is because if you don't realize you swallowed it, it will kill you overnight. Yeah. Not something I would have in my house or play with, but still, there are elements out there in nature that might look beautiful and harmless, like a holly berry on a holly plant or mistletoe berry with the mistletoe. For a human being, it would make us very sick. For your pet, it could kill them. Don't have those in reach of children or pets because, yeah, not very many clinics or not clinics, but veterinarian facilities are open 24 hours in small towns like Rolla or Doolittle or St. James. Might have a 24-hour one every so often in certain locations around like, St. Louis. But the 2-hour drive to get to St. Louis to a 24-hour emergency veterinarian, by the time that will happen, your fur baby could expire, and I don't want that to happen to anybody. No. I didn't like the idea of having to put down mom's cat, let alone my cat. Anyhow, I went on a tangent. I am sorry. Let me redo this. If you liked my video, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about this particular video, put it in the comment box. I will deal with it to my discretion. If you're not new to my channel and want to join because you're interested in healing crystals or nature or herbalism, Christianity, religion, doesn't matter if it's Christian or not. I just said Christian because it's what I was born and raised as. History is about the Norse or Vikings. Those kind of things. You might want to hit the subscribe button because you never can tell what day I'll put out a video on any one of these subjects. Or like today, I just sat down and talked about my day. But if you choose to join, you can hit the subscribe button. Once you do, a little bell will pop up. You click on that bell, and once you do, YouTube lets you know when I put out my videos. So, until next time, have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.